Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and today in this class I'm going to explain you the very first chapter of the book Flamingo named The Last Lesson, written by Alphonse Daudet. So children, if you like my video, please like, share and subscribe to it. So children, before I start this lesson, so let me quickly tell you about the author, Alphonse Daudet. So Alphonse Daudet was born on 13th May 1840 in France and he died on 16 December 1897. So Alphonse Daudet was an eminent French novelist, dramatist and short story writer. So this last lesson is a fictional short war story. So the story is set in the year of Franco-Persian War, which was fought in 1870 and which continued till 71. And there was a war between France and Prussia. Prussia was a nation at that time consisting of today's Germany, Austria, and Poland. The theme of this chapter is importance of education, the necessity to respect and learn its own language, and patriotism. So, children, in this war, Germany captured the two districts of France named Alsace and Lorraine. So, this story tells us how war brings transformation in the lives of the people of the defeated nation. So, the lead character of this story is a schoolboy named Franz. So, he's the narrator of this story. So, one day he got up late in the morning, and as he got up, so he got filled with fear. A thought came why he filled with the fear, because a day before his French teacher Mr. Hamel had assigned him a task, and that task was the learning of participle, and he didn't learn the p of the participle. So mm, a thought came in his mind, and what was the thought? To bunk the class of Mr. Hamel. And rather than going and attending the boring class of Mr. Hamel, he decided, to spend his day out of door, because the day was very pleasant on that day. It was sunny day, warm day, the birds were chirping on the trees, and the Prussian soldiers were drilling. So it was much more tempting, alluring than the rules of participle. But he had the strength to resist. Fine, like everyone, it happens with all of us. In the morning, when we get up in the morning, we thought not to go to our work, but we keep every day, we keep that thought aside and we go to our work. So in this way, friends also decided to go to the school, because he was already got late. So he started, after getting ready, he started running towards his school. So when he was running towards his school, when he's passing through the town halls, what he saw there a big crowd near the bulletin board. So, for the last 2 years, all the bad news were coming from that bulletin board. The news related to the lost battles, the draft, and the orders of the commanding officer. Then he stopped and thought for a moment. Uh, what is the news now? Why the crowd is assembled there? So he ignored the assembled crowd there, because he was already late for the school. So he started running, as fast as he could. So to see him walking like running, as he was running fast, so the blacksmith watcher, stopped him. Watcher was there along with his helper, who was reading the bulletin. He stopped him and said, why you are running so fast? You have enough time to reach your school. So listening this, saying him so, friends thought he was making fun of him. He was already late for the school, and Mr. Hamel will scold him, and he's saying he has enough time. So he ignored him. He kept running, and when he reached Mr. Hamel's school's garden, he was panting. So usually when school used to begin, there used to be great hustle and bustle. There used to be great noise in the school, and that noise could be heard out in the street. And what sort of noise used to be? The opening and closing of the desk, and the children used to repeat the lesson together in a very loud voice. And and all the children used to keep their hands over their ears to understand it better. And another thing, Mr. Hamill used to rap the iron ruler on the table. So this noise every day used to come from the classroom. But today when he reached to the school, everything was different, everything was quiet, fine. So he had made his plan on the way that in this great hustle and bustle, in this great noise, he would stealthily reach to his desk, and without being seen by anyone, he would enter in the class and would sit on his seat. But because on that day everything was as quiet like the Sunday morning, so he peeped through the window in his class. What he saw there? He saw that all his classmates were already seated on their places, and Mr. Hamill, walking from one side to another side in the class with his terrible iron ruler under his arm. So he had no other option. So he had to open the door and go in before everybody. He had no other option left. So you can imagine the state of uh, friends, how frightened, how ashamed he might have been feeling at that time. So Friends was very much scared, thinking that Mr. Hamill will scold him. As he will enter in the class, Mr. Hamill will scold him, insult him in front of the class for being late. But he had no other option left. So what he did, he opened the door. So as he has had expected, nothing happened like that. As soon as Mr. Hamill saw him, he said very politely, in a very kind manner. He asked little friends to come quickly inside the class, and he said, "Little friends, come quickly, take your seat. We were just we were going to start lesson without you." So he got surprised to see Mr. Hamill talking like this, because Mr. Hamill was a very strict teacher. So what Friends did, he quickly jumped over the bench and sat on his seat. So when he got a little fright over him, then he noticed that his French teacher, Mr. Hamill, was in different attire. He was wearing a beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt, and the little black silken cap, which was all embroidered. And he used to wear this dress on the special days like on inspection days or on prize distribution days. He used to wear this dress. But why he was wearing this dress on that day? What was special? And apart from Mr. Hamill's dress, what other thing he noticed? What he saw, beside, the whole school seemed so strange and solemn. The whole school was looking very strange and serious. And the other thing which surprised the little Friends most, what was that? What he noticed that the all the last seats, benches which were always remained empty on that days, they were not empty on the last benches. Villagers were seated there quietly like the children. And among the villagers who were there, old Hoser, he came with his three cornered hat. Apart from Hoser, there were the former mayor of the district and the former postman and several others besides. So everybody who was seated there were looking sad, Solomon and Hoser. had came in the school. He was sitting in the classroom with his old primary book, which was thumbed at the edges. And he was he kept that book on his knees, and he had great big spectacles on his eyes, and he was looking in his primary book. So little Prince was still in a very surprising state, shocking state, and he was wondering all about the changes he saw in the school on that day. Fine, in between he saw Mr. Hamill, dragged his chair and took it to the higher level, and he sat on it, and in a very serious, gentle tone, which he had used to little friends, he started saying, he said, "My children, I'm going to tell you that today is his last lesson, which he's going to give. Why it is last lesson? Because an order has come from the Berlin that from tomorrow onwards, no more French will be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. So from tomorrow onwards, a new German teacher would come, and in place of French, German will be taught. So today is your last French lesson. So I want everybody to be very attentive and serious in the class." So as soon as little Prince heard these words, so he got shocked. So then he remembered, oh, that was the reason there was a big crowd near the bulletin board. So that news they have put up on the notice board by those villains. So uh, he- this announcement made little Prince, sad. Said his last lesson, today is his last lesson, and he hardly knew how to write, and he will be stopped from learning his own language from now onwards. He will have to be stopped here. Then, he felt very sorry, sad for not taking his studies seriously. So he remembered how he has wasted his precious time in seeking birds' eggs or going slide on the Sar, fine, rather than attending the class. So his books that seemed to be a nuisance burden for him a little while, and whenever he used to come, he used to carry the school books, and he used to feel the burden of those books. His books, like grammar books, history books of the saints, were now looking to him his old friends, which no one wants to be lose. So now those old books were looking to him like his childhood friends, which he always want to keep with him. So Mr. Hamill, so now he thought about Mr. Hamill. So his thought about Mr. Hamill got changed. Fine. So now he all forgot about Mr. Hamill's cranky nature and his ruler. Now he was looking in Mr. Hamill that he was a very dedicated and passionate teacher. Then he thought, okay, that was the reason this poor man, Mr. Hammer, his French teacher, was wearing his special dress, which he used to wear on special occasion. Now he understood why the villagers were seated on the last benches. And, it was because they were feeling sorry. You know why they were feeling sorry? Because they had left their studies in between. And it was their way to thank Mr. Hamill for his 40 years of faithful service. Mr. Hamill was teaching in the same school for the last 40 years. So they all came to thank Mr. Hamill for his faithful service. And another reason for coming of them to the school, they to show their respect for the country, that was not there now. So while Friends was thinking all about this, so Friends heard his name was being called. So it was his turn to recite the rules of the participle. And what he was expected? He was expected to recite all the rules of the participle in a very loud and clear tone without a single mistake. But when he started, he all got mixed up. Fine. And he got scared, so he mixed up all the rules, and he stopped in between, holding on his desk. So his heart was beating at that time. He was very much scared, and he did not dare to look up. So little Prince was feeling ashamed for not answering the questions related to participle. So in between, he heard Mr. Hamill, he was saying that he won't scold him, little friends. So you yourself must feel bad for not learning your lesson on time. See how it is? No, we, human beings have a habit of prolonging the things on tomorrow. And see where we have reached. That is the great problem with the Alsace. You know, the people of Alsace put off the learning till tomorrow, till next day. So from tomorrow the Germans would come here to teach you. German will be taught. The new teacher would come, and when you would not be able to write in your own language, so they would insult you, and they would insult you by saying that you call yourself Frenchman, you call yourself nationalist, and you don't know your own language, how to write in your own language. Fine, they would how insulted you would feel at that time. And then he said, it's not only you took up your job seriously, so, we all need to repent for this, because we all did not do our duty properly. So then he started blaming from parents to himself and the children. Then he said, first of all, he blamed the parents. He said, the parents, the first, parents need to be blamed first, because the parents were more anxious their children to their work to earn some money, rather than sending them to school to learn, to get education. They preferred their children to go to work and to earn some coin. And then he blamed himself too. He said he also did not do his duty properly. Many times he did not take his class. Many times he asked the children to go and give water to his flowers garden, in the plants. And many times he did not take up his class, and he go for fishing along with his all his friends. And he declared a holiday for the children. He could utilize the time in teaching the children. So he himself blamed for not doing his duty properly. So after blaming everyone for not taking the education seriously, then he talks about the French language. He said, French language is the most beautiful language in the world. It is the most clearest, logical language, and we need to guard it among themselves. Being the Frenchmen, it is their duty to guard their own language. Fine. So they should not forget it, because tomorrow, the German teacher would come, and from tomorrow onwards, no more French will be taught. In place of it, German will be taught. So he advised everyone there that they should not forget their language. So he said, it language unites the people. Fine. So as long as we are united with each other, it means that we have the key to prison. Anytime we can open the lock and we can come out from the prison. Fine. So our language will unite the people, and we again will get victory. So he asks everybody to get connected. So they all need to guard their language. Then he followed his own, daily routine, as he used to do. So he did not think that that day was his last lesson, so he need to do just formality. So he followed his own routine, daily routine, like he opened a grammar book and read us our lesson. So little friend says he was amazed to see how well he understood. So friend says on that day he understood each and everything, even the complicated grammar rules. He understood everything. Fine, each and every word stored in his mind. It all seemed to him very easy and simple. Fine. Then he thinks that he had not listened Mr. Hamill so carefully. That can be the reason. Okay. And it also seemed that he had never explained everything with so much patience. So it seems that poor man, Mr. Hamill, who had 40 years teaching experience, he wanted to give everything, whatever knowledge he had about the French language. So before going, he wanted to give everything to all his children and the people who were seated there. Fine, at one stroke. So he was teaching everything with great patience. So after the grammar, the children had a writing lesson in writing. That day, Mr. Hamill, distributed new copies to all of them, and on those copies, in a very beautiful handwriting, what was written? Friends, Alsace, friends, Alsace. So they all the words which were written on over the copies, they were just looking like the flags, French flags. Like it seems they were floating everywhere in the schoolroom, and it seems that they were hung, from the road at the top of their desk. The classroom environment was very calm and quiet. Everybody was engrossed in the writing. So there was no noise in the class. The only sound which was coming from the classroom, and that sound was the scratching of the pen over the paper. So what when the children were engrossed in writing whatever task Mr. Hamill had given, so in between what happened, some beetles flew inside the classroom. So but nobody bothered about it. Nobody paid attention to those beetles. Generally children have a very short span of attention, but this time they did not look towards those beetles. They kept on writing. Even the little children, little ones who were tracing their fish hooks, they were also kept busy. They also kept themselves busy in tracing. It seems that that was French too for them. And what in between, little friends heard the peasants cooed on the roof. They were cooing in a very low voice there. Then the little friends thought, will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? They thought, see, these Germans have imposed their language on us. Fine. So from tomorrow onwards, from the next day, they will force us to learn German. So can they force their language on pigeons too? They cannot do so. When they cannot force their language to the birds, to the peasant, to the animals, then why they are forcing their language to us, to French people? So when everybody was busy in the writing, so little friends saw in between Mr. Hamill, who was sitting on the chair motionless. He was thinking something. He was in deep thought, and he was looking in between, all the things present in the classroom. So from one thing to another, as if he wanted to store all these things picture in his mind. Fine, for 40 years he had been there in the same place, with his garden outside and the window and his class in front of him. So it had become his habit. So in those 40 years, there were not many changes. Only the desk and the benches had been worn smooth, because every year new students were coming. So with the excessive use of those tables and the chair, they turned smooth. So what the walnut trees in the garden become taller, and the hope vine which he himself planted, now it reached to the window, to the roof. So you can imagine how emotional, heartbroken Mr. Hamill might have been feeling, leaving all these things. Poor man, how emotional he might have been feeling. So uh, little friends was thinking about it. So in between, he heard his sisters moving about in the room above. So she was packing the trunk because they were asked to leave the country the next day. So, but as I said, Mr. Hamill was a very dedicated teacher. So he had the courage to hear every lesson to the very last. So he followed his duty, whatever routine he used to follow. So he did the same on that day also. After the writing, friends said they had a lesson in the history, and the baby, started chanting their alphabets: ba, be, bi, boo. So at the back of the classroom, old Hauser was also seated. So he put on his spectacle when the children started reciting their alphabets. So he opened his primary book with both hands, and he started spelling those letters with the little kids. You could see he was crying at that time when he was reciting spelling. So he started crying, he became emotional, his voice started trembling with emotions, and it was a very funny to hear him, like this. So all the children who were present, they wanted to laugh and cry. Then friend says, that day, he how well he remembered each and everything in his last lesson. So when everybody was busy in his work, they did not want to waste even a single minute. So when everybody was doing his work, so in between, what happens? The church clock struck 12. So at the same moment, the Prussian soldiers who were returning from the drill, they blew the trumpet under their window. As soon as Mr. Hamill heard, the trumpet sound, so he stood up, and he stood up from his chair. He was looking very pale, sad, dejected, emotional. So little friend said he had never seen him in this manner before. So he stood up and he started saying, "My friends," said he. So so he got emotional. But something choked him. Whatever he wanted to say, he could not, you know, say it, and his voice trembled, his throat choked. So he could not go on. So what he did, he turned to the blackboard, took a piece of chalk, and with that piece of chalk, he started writing in big letters, in such as big as large letter as as much he could. So what he wrote with the chalk on the blackboard: "Vive la France," means long live France. So here, you know he filled the children as well the villagers, with the feeling of patriotism. And after writing it, he stopped and leaned his head against the wall, and without saying a word, he made a gesture of he made a gesture uh, with his hands, that the school is dismissed and you may leave now. So, children, this was the chapter, the last lesson. Hope you have understood this chapter. So children, if you like my video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.